What's going on, guys? It's Slappy Flappy here. Today, we are getting a bit festive, as you can see. We're on Christmas Rust, and this is perfectly suitable for the topic today, because today I'm going to talk about how I hate Christmas. Oh, God. Can you guys tell I'm a positive person? This looks great. This is exactly what I wanted. Today, I wanted to talk about how I hate Christmas. Now, I don't want to sound like a Grinch. That is the last thing I want to do. I'm not a Grinch. Okay, maybe I'm a Grinch. Look, it's such a complex thing because I love Christmas. This video is going great, guys. Should I just cut it now? Look, I love Christmas for what it stands for. You know, hanging out with family, watching Christmas movies, unwrapping gifts, you know... It just sounds so fucking miserable. Look, can we just be honest? I love the idea of Christmas. I love the idea of Christmas, but unfortunately, Christmas for me, I think the elephant in the room needs to be addressed. I live in Australia. I live in the wonderful land of Oz, and without Ariana Grande or Cynthia. Is it Cynthia? Yeah. This ain't the Wizard of Ozempic. Haha, that's a joke that I still think is funny. Oh, fucking what a beautiful drop for me. You're a good drop for me, princess. Don't say that on the microphone. Anyhow. Anyway, so yes, I live in Australia. That is one of the obvious things is that we don't have a traditional Christmas experience over here. It's hot. It is hot. I'm pretty sure the last 27 Christmases I've had, for reference, I am 27, have been, 30 degrees Celsius. I don't know what the Fahrenheit translation is, probably like 100 and something. But that's no way to enjoy Christmas. To a degree, we have the air conditioners running. So it's kind of like, it's not horrible. But it's also like, well, it also could be winter and snowing. Ew! That's so fucking horrifying. Why is that there? So yeah, we just have to suffer on Christmas. And sometimes it's so hot that there's multiple people in a living room celebrating Christmas. Sometimes it just, the air conditioner can't keep up with it, man. It is too hot for the AC, which is, a problem. How the hell are you supposed to survive when the AC can barely survive? And if you're in a house where you don't have air conditioning, or as we're going to probably talk about in a second, out at pubs and bars where there's no air conditioning, and you're sitting in a hot shed, spending your Christmas as a child at these locations, yeah, it's not great. Just putting it out there, it's that kind of fucking shit. Need a little revive. So, of course, that's so fucking scary. Of course, that doesn't make for a really good Christmas experience. That is definitely something that can be looked on as a negative. I definitely have not celebrated, at least till I met my fiance, a good family Christmas. Fortunately, and it's so funny how often she brings up how sad my childhood was, but the fact that I never had a really good Christmas, I didn't get to watch Christmas movies at Christmas when I was a kid. You want to know why? Because my parents were out drinking. Oh, we haven't even touched that part. I wasn't even ready to touch that part yet. It segues so cleaner than my parents' alcohol addiction. Heyo. But once I met my fiance and I told her, look, I haven't really had a Christmas experience. It was all uphill from there. We celebrate as a family. We get to watch Christmas movies. We get to have a proper roast with brisket and ham and delicious English Christmas stuff like Yorkshire puddings. Oh, God, I love a good Yorkshire pudding. Put it in my mouth. What the fuck is that? Crusader Ale? Okay, yeah, fun. Can someone tell me what Juggernog is? Oh, Juggernaut's up there. That's nut. How the fuck am I supposed to get up there, brother? And every year since I've had a better Christmas with them than my own family. Christmas over, the past 6 years, the parts that I have with my actual family, it's nothing. Really, I think I've actually spent maybe 2 or 3 of them with my dad. He's usually been, going on a cruise or something that, I wasn't invited to. Lol. No, I don't really care about cruises, but I'm just saying, he just, give it a heads up next time, Dad. This is fucking depressing. And then when it comes to my mum, there's just a shattered history there. So, going over to my mum's place for Christmas is always quite depressing. It's really just my mum's partner's parents, who are old and crusty. And my stepbrother and his husband sometimes. That's pretty much all it is. It used to be my other stepbrother, but he passed away. So literally there's not much incentive for my brother to actually want to show up. So last Christmas, my brother didn't even go. So quite funny. It's crappy food. There's always pavlova and coleslaw and cold chicken. It's always cold chicken. always cold, just cold food. Like, usually everyone's pulling up plates of crap, but I'm just like, give me some bread and some chicken. I'm making a sandwich because everything here looks revolting. There's no Christmas movies or anything. There's no, there's Christmas crackers, but who really cares about Christmas crackers unless, you're with the right people and you can have fun. I still think that shit regardless, actually. And then usually, from my mum or my dad, if I'm seeing either of them when it comes to Christmas presents, I'm a 27-year-old. I'm not someone who's like, oh, I need Christmas presents. I'm not a bratty child. I still like presents. They don't know me at all. I remember there was one year, my dad, he was like, oh, I didn't know what to get you. He was like, I thought you might want a game or something. And I was like, oh, yeah, sick, a game. That's pretty much me. But instead he bought granted, in concept is kind of cool, but knowing how much he spent on it, ridiculous. Save your money, Dad. He bought a cheese toasty maker with Pikachu's face on it, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm always appreciative of whatever guest, regardless of if they're shit. I need to get that over there. I will always be appreciative because the thought was there. I don't know. In the case of this one, I'm pretty sure Dad was like, Rob likes Pokemon. He might want to make a Pokemon sandwich. And this fucking sandwich press, I think, costs like 40 Australian dollars, which is ridiculous because it took 10 to 15 minutes to even burn the face of Pikachu into the sandwich, and the cheese hadn't even melted. I'm like, this is a waste of money, Dad. I would have preferred, anything else. And then every other time it's been a bottle of alcohol. I think I've been vocal. I don't like drinking. I have had a few drinks recently, and I think it's just, the depression is really seeping in and I can't control it. But I am gonna pack a punch. Where's pack a punch? I don't want to die. Let me get pack a punch, man. Let me get pack a punch. Yeah. I'll see what this turns into. Ah, sick. Explosive? Oh, no, it's just a shooty bang bang. Oh my god, these things are actually blazed. I love it. So yeah, like I don't want to come across like a bratty child, but like there's no thought behind the gifts. What was it? Last Christmas, I gave you my... I made up a poster of the Evil Dead for my dad, and I framed it. This might have been his birthday, but either way, it was still a gift, and he showed no appreciation for it because he was drunk. Anyway, this is just depressing. That was the point. I love Christmas more now because I actually have a reason to appreciate it, because I get to spend it with people that I do genuinely love and care about, and I know feel the same about me. There's effort that goes around with all of us. We all care. We all want to have a good time. We all enjoy chucking on a Christmas movie, just enjoying our time. And I've got my nephews. They come around. We get to buy them gifts now. We get to see Christmas cheer from them being so young. It's like, you know what? This is great. I wish I could have had Christmas cheer when I was a young whippersnapper. If we're going to not be so depressed here, because it's just all I'm being right now, I can be honest that there were definitely some Christmases that I liked. And they were the ones where my parents decided that they weren't going to go drinking at 12 o'clock. And I actually got to stay home and enjoy the things that were given to me. So, the fuck is that? Oh, he's Brutus. It's fucking Brutus, my guy. Fuck! Brutus Claus. Get a life. Oh, get a wife. Santa Claus. I don't even remember what I was fucking saying. Okay. Ow. Okay, he's got a fart smog. We don't want fart smog. So you know what? Like those were the Christmases where it was good. There's two in mind that I have that I can't remember if they're the same Christmas or a different Christmas. I think they're both different Christmases, which is good because that means I had two Christmases that were good. One of them was the year that Sonic Colors came out. My mum and dad got me Sonic Colors for the Wii, and it came with this cute Sonic hat, which I still have to this day. Like, it's literally sitting to the left of me. And I felt, safe that day. We didn't go out. We just stayed home. As a kid, we didn't have Christmas lunches or anything. It was just me, my mum, and my dad. We didn't have a whole family that we met up with or anything, which is why they usually went out drinking or whatnot, because they're like, we'll just go see our friends instead. So, drinking was the choice. But even when it came to those times where it was like, oh, we're going to go, hang out with our friends and drink, there wasn't even lunch or anything there. It was just kind of like, well, we're here. The kids, and you know what? I can't even say kids, plural, because it was just me. I was the only kid at these things most of the time. If it was a pub, there'd probably be other kids there. But because I was socially awkward from a young age, I found it hard to mingle as a kid and make friends. But then when it was they would go to a friend's place or something, then I was just shit out of luck. I remember there was one Christmas where I just literally, I think it was 3 o'clock in the morning that they left, and I just stayed up because I couldn't sleep watching the Three Stooges, the original Three Stooges. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm making that sound like it's a bad thing. No, it's the Three Stooges. It's tops. I love it. good slapstick comedy. But I can definitely say that I would have much rather been at home. And then there was the other time, which was when I got my Nintendo 3DS, which was pretty wicked, because when I got my first DS, like the DS Lite was already out, and like we were poor growing up. I was poor growing up. Like my parents didn't have a lot of money, and I wasn't ever too selfish. I definitely had, like, you know, childhood selfishness, which is just sort of like a byproduct of being a kid. So when I got my DS, my buddy who we were hanging out with, this was for my birthday, just totally off topic, but he had a DS Lite, and I got the original DS, and it was like pre-owned, but I fucking loved it. You know, it didn't have to be the name brand, you know, the full kit and caboodle. I was just appreciative of whatever was given to me. So when I got the 3DS, I was like, holy fuck, this is actually like the 3DS. And I know that costs a lot of money, so I was hella appreciative, and I played that so much. And I wish I still had that childhood innocence to be able to play and enjoy games like that. Because I remember just spending all my time just chilling out playing Mario 3D Land. It was class. It was quality. So yeah, I was like so appreciative of that. I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever gotten. Those were the 2 Christmases that I remember that were good. But unfortunately, a lot of them was completely surrounded by alcohol and drunk adults, and no form of entertainment for me to really, you know, escape the scenarios, the situations. Oh, G36C, that's going. That's it. That's the dog. And that was where I spent a lot of my Christmases, was, you know, at a parent's friend's place while they're all getting drunk, or at a pub while everyone was getting drunk. It's just what my childhood Christmases were like. There was one Christmas Eve, and this is the one that always sits with me, and I think it sits with my parents too. Like, I'm pretty sure they remember this shit, maybe as well as I do. I don't know. They were always very drunk, so their memories aren't reliable. Fucking hell, double points up the wazoo. Let's go. Merry Christmas, everybody. There's one Christmas Eve, we were obviously stay at a friend's place. Now, fortunately, this was one of the ones where there was actually like kids there, so I wasn't, you know, bored shitless. Fuck me, Santa Claus. That wasn't a request, just so everyone's aware. I'm not down for the holly jolly man in the big red. So at this Christmas Eve, dude, it was getting late, and people were like, okay, everyone's gonna head home. It was like a duplex sort of home, so like the neighbors were around, and then all the kids were hanging out. And God, I wasn't meant for these kids were all rough and like beaten into each other and shit, and I'm just standing there like, please don't touch me. So I believe we got a cab. Sometimes we wouldn't get a cab, and my parents would drive. I'm really not standing up for them in any way, am I? It's just childhood trauma and all that, isn't it? We got home, and it was early in the morning, and my dad couldn't find the keys to get in the house, and my mum couldn't find the keys to get into the house. My mum assumed that it was one of the kids, you know, playing a trick, and like took the keys and then hid the keys and was like, haha, funny. Don't think that was the case. I'm pretty sure it was just because they were that pissed. They don't know anything. They're very non-compass mentis. I think the logical thing would be to try and reach out to the people's house that you went to and be like, hey, have you seen our keys? I don't think they made a phone call. I don't think that ever happened. I just remember my mum in tears because my dad punched the glass to the window to break into the house at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was really like, whoa, shit. I remember we got inside the house. My dad's hands all cut up and shit, because I don't think he was smart enough to like wrap it beforehand. I'm pretty sure he just went full fist into it. We then got inside the house, and I remember my mum going and sitting in the bathroom, and I could just hear her crying through the door. And I remember just saying to her, oh, this is 2004, 2005, so I was like 6 or 7. And I just came to the door, I'm like, Mum, don't cry. It's Christmas. Oh, fuck. It's so sad. So look, you know, call me a Grinch, but I think I've got my reasons. And look, even now, like as I mentioned, being with my fiance and her family and stuff, it's been the greatest experience I've ever had Christmas-wise. But there are still times where I'm not used to it. I'm not used to being around, you know, family and stuff at Christmas. I'm not used to having a big meal and getting to watch Christmas movies. So sometimes it just feels bizarre to me, and I feel not awkward, but I don't know. It kind of feels like I don't deserve it or something. I don't know. It's really weird how my brain works. And like, you know, Christmas is coming up. Obviously, well, you know, 'tis the season, as they say. You know, we're doing similar thing where we're gonna have Christmas here. My mother-in-law, she's gonna be working, so. But she's working a night shift, so we're like sort of like doing an afternoon Christmas, but that's fine. You know, again, I'm not, you know, I'm a 27-year-old. I'm not up crack of dawn to open presents under the tree. I'm just happy we get to do it at all. You know? So, and then I will go see my mum. And my dad, funnily enough, is going on a cruise again. I still get to sort of, you know, see my mum on Christmas, even though it's, you know, not my favorite. And I think one of these days I'm going to be able to heal my inner child, because there's always something that as a kid I've always wanted to experience. Well, two things. One of them is Disneyland. I'm going to die. And then the other one is obviously a white Christmas. I can't wait to have a white Christmas, you know, in the States, possibly, when, you know, you guys aren't, you know, about to fucking explode, or in the UK. Like I've said before, in the missus, we're gonna move to the UK, so we probably will get a white Christmas. Anyway, guys, that's it. I'm the Grinch. I wouldn't touch me with a 10-foot pole either. But I would touch me with a 10-foot penis.